Hey, it's Bob Ewalt, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about some LinkedIn profile best practices. Now, I know this is probably more relevant to people who are searching for a job on LinkedIn and want to make a good impression, but it's also for people who might want to make a bigger presence on LinkedIn or become a LinkedIn content creator. So here's the things that I've come up with, and they're kind of my best practices that I've come up with over the last couple of years that I wanted to share with you. So the first thing is your profile picture. It's one of the most annoying things in the world to come across someone's profile and there isn't a profile picture, or they're scowling in their profile picture. So those are two things to avoid on LinkedIn. So you want to have a profile picture and you want to be smiling and you want to have your picture filling up most of that profile frame. Secondly, the background image or the tile across the top of your LinkedIn profile. Don't just settle for the default on that. You want to do a Google search for something like LinkedIn background image, or you can create your own using something like Canva. But put something in that tile across the top of your profile. All right, third thing, your name. Now I've seen some people on LinkedIn say, "Oh, put emojis in your name to subvert bots." So if you get a message on LinkedIn, you know right away whether it's a bot or not. Well, personally, if you get a message on LinkedIn and you don't know whether it's a bot or not, you have something wrong. So don't put emojis in your name. It prohibits people from finding you on LinkedIn. So if you have a friend or if you have a potential employer that's looking for you, they put your name in, it will not come up in a regular search. All right. So just put your name. You can put your full name, your given name, or the name that you go by, but put your name in that field. All right. The next thing is your headline. All right, so in your headline, that's where you can put your certifications. That's where you put a description, just a very brief description of what you do or what you're passionate about. This is what people see when you come up in a search, or if you've commented on something that they've posted, they'll see this headline underneath your comment. So it's important that you put something good there, something to draw people in. All right, so it's very important, and you can start using emojis in your headline or in the other sections, like your about section or what have you. Speaking of the about section, that's the next thing I want to talk about. So this is where it's typical. It's typically something like your professional summary paragraph of your resume, and it speaks to the scope of your experience doing the stuff that's in your headline. So if you say I'm an experienced IT person, that you can just tease that out just a little bit more. Then, when they go to your experience section, someone who's looking at your experience section is going to expect that your experience section will back up what you say in your about section and what you say in your headline. All right, so go back 7 to 10 years in your experience section to show that you have the experience that you say that you have. The next thing that you want to consider is your skills section. And you can actually edit what you want your top 3 skills to be. And I would recommend that you make them the top 3 skills that you for the job that you want to do. And you can change those by clicking on the little pencil, and then you can share those or try to get endorsed by people in your network for those skills. All right, the next tip that I have is to keep your profile up to date. Try to come back every couple months. I try to do it every quarter, where you keep your profile up to date. So if you start a job, you don't really know what you've done in that job yet, but put it on your profile just kind of as a placeholder. And then in a couple of months, come back and fill in some bullet points or description of what you've actually done in that job so far. And you can continue to kind of to edit it and massage it as you go on, as you get into different parts of the job that you're doing. And then what I do is I take what I put in my LinkedIn profile and make that into my resume. Now, I have not taken the step of exporting my LinkedIn profile to a resume. I think it looks kind of tacky, the way that they currently export it. But you can do that. I would recommend that you write a resume from a template, either in Word or you find online, or you get someone to write it for you, so that you know that it's written correctly, it's been spell checked, it has a good appeal to it. Um, so those kind of things I pull out of my LinkedIn profile and put into my resume. My last recommendation is about recommendations. So there's a recommendations section on your profile that you can actually send a request to people in your network to get recommendations for the work that you've done. And I would recommend that you do that. Sometimes it's not good form to send request for a recommendation from someone you're currently working with. But if you work with someone in a long-term project, or once you leave a job, it's absolutely necessary to go back and ask the people that you worked with at the previous job for a recommendation. Now, what I found is very few people. There's quite a few people that say, "Yeah, I'll get you a recommendation. It's going to take me a couple weeks," and then they forget about it. And the actual number of people that give you recommendations is relatively small. But I have found that there is kind of a give and take. Like if you give a recommendation to someone that's in your network that you've worked with, they're more likely to give you a recommendation in return as well. So those are my top recommendations, my top tips for your LinkedIn profile. I hope this helps you, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.